What is up guys, and welcome to my latest video here on SP Vids. Today I'm going to show you 10 kind of hidden features of the SP404-MK2, things that are pretty difficult to find, maybe not necessarily labeled, things like that. I'm hoping if you're a beginner this is going to be very useful, and who knows, even as a long-time user I might be able to show you something that you haven't seen before on this video, so it's definitely worth sticking around, and you can use the chapter markers as well to make things a little bit quicker if you are an advanced user on this machine. Just before I start, don't forget to check out the links in the description, especially spvids.com. All the sales there really help me to keep making videos like this for you guys. So if you could watch the video and then maybe go and have a look at my shop, maybe pick up a beat pack or something like that, I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into these 10 hidden features then. The first one is that you can rename samples on this device. Now, all we have to do is select the sample. You can see here, I've got this snare from my Lo-Fi Drums Volume 6 pack. We press and hold remain. And there's a menu here which shows us loads of different information, a lot of it pretty useful, and the one in particular that we want is name. So if we hover on name and then press the value wheel, it takes us into this new menu. Now you can see mine's got an A at the start. I'm going to go ahead and change this to a G, for example, so Goo sample. We'll press OK, and then if I press remain again now, you can see that the name has got that G at the start of it. So you could go ahead and rename things. For example, the snare, you might just put SNR, little naming conventions to make this a quicker process because it is a little bit time consuming. So yeah, try and use some naming conventions to make this simple, but that's a great way of keeping all your samples very organized. When you export these samples, those names are going to be on there, so that's really useful for that. Okay, tip 2, this is a really simple one, but very useful. You can select a sample without actually triggering it. So if I press 1 here, for example, you can hear it triggers the sample. If I press it again and hold the value wheel down, it doesn't make a noise. And then I can go ahead and look at the screen here. You can see A1 there, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, etc. If I'm not holding that value wheel, it's going to trigger all those samples. So this is really useful if you're in pattern mode and you're playing a pattern and you want to make changes to a sample but you don't want to trigger it. That's when I find it the most useful. You can go in, for example, select the snare, you can change the pitch of it. You're not triggering the sample. It's just a nice little feature to know about. For my next tip, we're talking about skip back. Now, skip back is an area that's constantly recording what you're doing on the SP, and you can retrieve that data and save it onto a pad if you want to. Now, the thing that I want to mention about this is there's two modes. There's basically the default, and then there's a long mode. Long basically just gives you more skip back time, so for me, it's definitely worth doing. If you go to Shift and 13, which is Utility, go to System, and we need to scroll across to the first tab, which is General. And if we scroll down here, we need to find, where is it? Mark function, here we go. So mark function, you can see mine's already set up, SPS long, skip back long. It might be set to skip back default, which is going to give you a much shorter time. I think it's the difference between 20 and 40 seconds. So if you like using skip back, go and check if this is on long. I'm going to keep mine on long like that, and then I know I'll get the full amount of skip back time. Another cool feature on the SP404-MK2 is that you can protect banks, and it's really easy to do. You just have to go to the bank that you want to protect. So let's go to A, and I'm going to go ahead and do Shift and copy. Now you can see this dialog box comes up. Protect bank A, are you sure? And I'm going to go across and press OK. Now the great thing about this as well, if you go to the pattern area and you're in A, it's going to protect these patterns as well. So look what happens when I try and delete something. I can't select any of these pads. And if I go to the pattern mode and try and delete those, I can't delete those either. So it's just really good to have that to stop you accidentally deleting things. And if you want to disable that again, it's exactly the same combination. You just do Shift and copy again. And now you can see it says unprotect bank A, are you sure? I'm going to press OK. And then we're back to normal. I can select things to delete like this. You can see it's working again now. My next tip is about MFX. Have you ever pressed the MFX button and then seen your values disappear? Very frustrating. There you go, mine have gone now. But there is an easy way to get these back. All you have to do is press remain and hold it, and then press the MFX button. You can see that it's now back on the screen and now won't go away. And you can change between all of the buttons now and it will stay on the screen. If you want to get away from that, you just press exit. You can see delay is still activated, but it's not on the screen. If we need to get it back, remain and delay again. And you can see it's back on the screen there, and that's going to stay there for as long as you need. That's a really useful one. It's very frustrating when the values disappear, Obviously, when you're playing around with effects, you need to be able to reference those, so that's an easy way to keep them on the screen. Okay, my next tip is about patterns, and this is going to turbocharge your pattern making workflow. If we go to a pattern, let's say we've got this one here. So let's say I want to delete all the hi-hats from that. Firstly, I'm just going to make a copy because I actually need that pattern. So we'll just do it on this copied version. So we're going to make sure that that pattern is selected. I can use the value wheel and press 10. There we go, A10. And then if I go to pattern edit, I'm going to press and hold delete. You can see now it says delete pad from loop. Now I have to go into F to find my hi-hat. It's 15. So there we go. You get a preview when you press it. I'm still holding delete, and then I'm going to press the value wheel to confirm it. So enter. Okay, that's done. Now if I play that pattern again now, there you go, all instances of that hi-hat have been deleted. That's extremely useful, and I think if you don't know about that one, it's going to definitely turbocharge the pattern making area for you. I think that's one of the most powerful shortcuts in that area. If you're someone that likes using this device pretty quickly, then you might want to turn off pop-ups. When this device first came, it had pop-ups, and I found the workflow so slow with it. Once I turned them off, I just became so much faster on this device. So once you get good on this device and you start getting around the unit pretty quickly, you really don't want those pop-ups confirming things like when you delete a sample, etc, etc. So it's really easy to turn them off. We're going to go to utility again, it's Shift and 13. We're going to go to system, and we're going to scroll down until we see pop-ups. You can see here pop-up time, mine sets it off. You can have it on short or normal. Just set it to off, come out of there, and then things like deleting samples, it's just going to be really quick and you're not going to get those little pop-ups saying sample deleted. I don't know why they were even there in the first place, but yeah, turn those off and you're going to be using this device a lot faster. Okay, my next tip is, did you know that you can pan samples on the SP and you can also choose the left or right hand side of the stereo signal and make it mono as well? So let's go ahead and take this snare. I'm going to go to pitch and speed. Now we've got three things here: speed, pitch and volume. We're not seeing what we want to yet. What we have to do is go ahead and press and hold shift. Now you can see that pan has come up. We can either choose to pan to the left, pan to the right, and if we go all the way to the left, you can see it changes to mono left, and all the way to the right, and we do mono right. So you can play around in there, pan things, or just set them mono left and right as well if you've got a stereo sample. I'm going to go ahead and put that back to center because I don't want to do it on this one. There you go, C. Just let go of shift and that's back to normal. So yeah, a little bit of a hidden one, that one, but really easy to get to once you remember it. Just press and hold shift. Okay, my next tip is about bus 3 and 4. Now there's two buses here which I use as master effects. So whenever I've made a full beat, these two will be on the end of it and they'll be adding some nice texture or warmth. You can see I've got the isolator and the 303 vinyl sim compressor, but when I'm doing something like sampling into the unit, I don't want these effects on. Now usually you'd have to be in this area and scroll all the way to the top, but there's actually an easier way to do it. So if we're on the default screen, all we have to do is press and hold the value wheel and press bus effects, and if you look at the bottom right hand corner, you can see it's a toggle for bus 3 on and off. So if I want to quickly sample something in, I can just do value wheel and bus effects, turn it off, sample it in, and then I've done what I need to do. I want bus 3 and 4 back on, value wheel, bus effects, and it's back on again. It's really easy to do there. It's much better than having to go into Shift and 16, which is EFX settings every time, to bypass those. Okay, the last tip that I want to show you guys is that you can resample multiple samples down onto one pad using this resample feature. So I've got a kick, snare and hi-hat here. But let's say I want all those stacked on one pad. There's loads of different ways you can do this, but this one's really simple. Just do Shift and resample at the same time, and you can see we get to mix samples. Now I'm going to choose all three, and I'm going to press enter, and then select target pad 9, and then enter to confirm with the value wheel. Now on pad 9, you can hear we've got all three of those samples there combined onto one pad. That's really easy to do. I'm sure you can get very creative with that. I think that's a little hidden gem, which I only actually found out about relatively recently. Okay, that's it for this one, guys. That's 10 hidden features, which hopefully make using this device a little bit easier or a little bit more fun. Don't forget to check out those links that I mentioned at the start of the video to help support what I do here. Thanks to all my members for the monthly support, and I will hopefully see you again in a future video very, very soon.